so in love with you.
Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is gonna be absolutely bonkers. Now, the data is in, and today's video is gonna be on Redfin's weekly housing market update. And what we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna review basically the article's conclusion, this week's conclusion. Then I'm gonna hop over and I'm gonna show you guys all of the metro areas that are currently on right now, their year-over-year price decline list. Now, after that, guys, we're gonna review the leading indicators, we're gonna visualize some data, and I'm gonna do one of my favorite breakdowns, which is peak to current comparison, so that we know, did we make a good decision on waiting or did we make a bad decision on waiting? So that's what today's video is going to be, guys. But remember, I'm not a financial advisor, even if I want to be, even though my bio is as a realtor, loan officer, instructor in real estate in Texas. So I know a little bit about what's going on. And guys, for my mission, please like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the notifications, guys, shoot me a comment below. I would greatly appreciate it. But let's dig into the article right now, titled Housing Market Update. Pending sales drop to the lowest level since at least 2015. So here's the conclusion of the article, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more. Two categories of buyers are starting their search right now. First-timers hoping prices and competition are more manageable than they have been over the last few years. And returning buyers who took a break after losing out on multiple homes during the pandemic war frenzy. They should be able to take their time and find a home for a slightly lower price than last year. But the market will likely become more competitive over the next few months. I expect new listings to remain scarce as homeowners hold onto low interest rates while the pool of determined buyers circles the few homes that are available. So here's the interesting thing. All of the data is essentially saying the opposite of what they're talking about. A lot of people right now, you guys, are actually just priced out of the market and cannot get a home. So I really believe the two questions that we need to be asking ourselves are, how much longer will the Federal Reserve continue quantitative tightening and continue raising the federal funds rate? And then also, when they U-turn or when they pivot, how long will we have buying opportunities? So I already know that we're in a crash, but I'm wondering how big this crash is going to be so that I can kind of figure out when exactly I should start purchasing real estate, or at least recommending that people purchase real estate, because you guys know that I'm looking for a house right now. My target's February, but I know for sure it is not the bottom of the market. It won't be the bottom of the market in February. So it is very possible that I do push that out. The thing is, guys, is I'm being proactive. I'm bettering my situation, and I'm out there looking, and I understand what a great deal is. And I want the same thing for you. Again, it is especially important that you understand where you're purchasing and the trends in the local housing markets. So let's go on over to the year-over-year price decline list. So I noticed out of the top 50 biggest metro areas, 38% of them are on the year-over-year price decline list. That is not seasonal. Obviously, we know that's not seasonal. We know quantitative tightening is not seasonal, right? This is a housing market crash that the catalyst is essentially the Federal Reserve, right? That is the catalyst of this crash. Last time, predominantly, it was foreclosures, right? But I'll also argue the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform Act, kind of squashed purchasing demand back in 2009, 2010, 2011, right? But regardless, guys, this market is different than the last market, so it's really important to understand that and look at the data accordingly. Let's take a look at the list. Home prices fell from a year earlier in 19 of the 50 most populous U.S. metro areas. And you guys, that represents 38%. Typical U.S. homes sold for $350,000 during the 4 weeks ending January 1st. That's up just 0.5% from a year earlier, slightly lower than 0.7% growth we saw at the beginning of the pandemic when the market nearly ground to a halt. So in other words, you all, we did not hit year-over-year price decline as a national average this year, unfortunately. Even though we got down to 350, we needed to be slightly under 350. We missed it by about $1,000. Can you believe that? $1,000, you guys. And to be on this list, remember, these metro areas have had to have lost all of the gains at the beginning of 2022, which was generally double-digit gains. So they lost double-digit gains and then lost additional median sales price value. Pretty astonishing, you guys, if you really think about it. But let's see who's on the list. Now, Prices fell a whopping, eye-shocking 10.4% in San Francisco, 6% Sacramento, 5.6% San Jose, 5.4% in Los Angeles, 4.6% Detroit, 4.4% Oakland, 4.2% Seattle, 3.9% Pittsburgh, 2.9% Austin, 2.8% New York, 2.4% Phoenix, 2.2% Boston, and then less than 2 is Anaheim, Chicago, Riverside, Washington, D.C., San Diego, Portland, and Norwalk. And you guys remember throughout the year, there have been additional cities on this list that are no longer on this list. And here's what the wild thing is going to be this year. As we go further into 2023, the year-over-year price decline list is going to explode. But not only is that list going to explode with metro areas, the actual decline is going to be so evident that mainstream media has no choice but to start reporting on this. And I believe when they start reporting on like, oh my gosh, the entire country is on the year-over-year price decline list, that's when the fear of missing out, coupled with confirmed recession, starts getting really out of control. And I believe once that happens, that's when we're going to see the Federal Reserve either U-turn, pivot, and basically set the clock in motion to where the buying opportunity is there. So in other words, we just want to really pay attention to hear what's going on, right? Let's move on to the next part. And here's our leading indicators, y'all. So the first thing I want to start out is interest rates. The daily, the interest rates ticked up from 1 week ago at 6.48%. Now, if we look at today's interest rates, they have gone down pretty sharply, about 25 basis points. So that's not yet reflected here, you guys. But mortgage applications during the week ending December 3rd were down roughly 12% from 2 weeks earlier. Purchase applications are down a whopping 42% still, so we've seen no relief in the mortgage industry. Redfin Home Buying Demand Index is down 6% from a week earlier, 10% from a month earlier, and 20% from a year earlier. Now, Google searches are actually down 33% from a year earlier. Here's the shocking number, you guys. Touring activity is down a whopping, as you can see here, a whopping 63%. So pretty shocking, you guys. And again, here's on the bottom here, the median sales price average is $350,000. That's just up 0.5% year over year. So again, we almost hit it, guys, but it is confirmed we did not hit it this year. We do not have an average of year-over-year price decline list. We do not have an average of year-over-year price decline. So we almost hit that, $1,000 off. Very, very close, you guys. Very, very close. So what I want to do now is start visualizing some of this data. But before I do that, understand what's going on right now with interest rates, okay? So the fact that ever since about November, interest rates have gone down under 7% again, back into the 6%, actually low 6%, that is not going to have the effect that we want it to have as homeowners on the sideline. So we're going to dig into this data, and I'm going to show you basically as a result of the interest rates being lowered, topped with seasonal trends, it's actually the trends that we've been watching are reversing, which is not good, which is why I constantly tell you guys, stay prepared, right? And be ready to purchase based on what the Federal Reserve does. But let's start with one of the most important things to stay on top of, guys, which is the months of supply. Take a look. All right, so as we can see here, this is the months of supply by Redfin. The red line represents 2022. The new orange line right here is 2023. So we actually went down to 3.4 months available on the market. It's actually pretty close to being doubled. So this seems a little off. I'm not sure why they're only saying 1.6 because we have a lot more inventory. It shows here, again, it's way over the blue line. It's way over the red line. Unfortunately, though, it is under the 2020 line, which we started out at about 3.9 months. Now, remember, you guys, this is really important to follow because we want to see 6 months or more of inventory. That is historically a buyer's market, and when we can start getting, pretty great deals. Now, here's the other thing that I've been watching, you guys. Obviously, demand, and you can kind of see here, ever since about November-ish, it's kind of trended back up. And again, part of the reason why that is, the interest rates dropped. When the interest rates drop, people get off the sidelines, they go back into the market and they purchase. I mean, we know that by now. So I really, really hope that the Federal Reserve stays on top of what's going on in the housing market, right? And I believe they will, and I believe they told us they will. So it's really shocking that people are doing the opposite of what the Federal Reserve is doing. But we can see here, you guys, week over week, it's kind of, it went up, right? So we're right here last week, the end of this red. And right here, as you can see, we raised a little bit here to 133.2. So it is up. We don't want to see that. Obviously, you guys, we want that to be down, at 2020 levels or lower. But the good news is it is under 2021 and under 2022 levels. So the quantitative tightening is still working. So again, going back to interest rates, obviously when rates go down, affordability goes down with them. Now, it's not showing you guys, this week's rates yet, which are lower. So this is going to go down next week. But right now it's about the same. You can see this is where we ended the year right here. So it actually went down slightly. It looks like you can see that right here. But the thing is, guys, next week, this is going to go down even more. And I'm going to show you again when we do our peak to current comparison, just to show you where we stand right now. But again, this is not the direction of the trends that we want. I'm hoping that the Federal Reserve is going to come out and say something to kind of scare us and get everything back in line. Here's Redfin's median sales price. Obviously, we're starting a new year. It's orange. You guys can see how close. If you guys look here, this is how close we were to hitting the year-over-year price decline list. So now that we're entering 2023, you guys, it's only a matter of time before we are greatly under this red line, because look at the red line, shoot up right here around February. You see that? So if home values do not shoot up again in February, it's going to, plateau well under that red line, signaling massive year-over-year price decline on a nationwide scale. More than likely that happens after February. And again, I'm saying a large year-over-year price decline, not a little bit, but a large year-over-year price decline. It happens after February, as you guys can see here. All right, so let's do the comparison now. Obviously, I just went to Google, as you can see here, and typed in mortgage calculator. If you guys hit this button right here, you can actually include taxes and insurance. But let's just get a general idea of where we were at the peak. So we know that median sales price was $390,000. They just changed that. It's actually $391,000. But we're going to use that. And the interest rates back in June was an average of 5.78. We already know that because of the videos that we've done before. That gives us a payment at peak of $2,283. So now let's see where we're at if we fast forward to today, because now we know that the median sales price is only $350,000. And what I did, guys, is I'm going to use the interest rates of today. I got today's interest rates, which was only 6.2. So the interest rates are going down. Okay. Now, basically, you can see that not only is the loan amount now lower, or the sales price a lot lower, but the payment is also significantly lower. And this should indicate to everyone that's waiting that waiting overall, right? Real estate is hyper local, but overall, if you waited, you won, and you won big time, you guys, because remember, not only are you going to save money, right? You have more inventory options. You have more buying incentives. You don't have to waive contingencies. There's not a lot of fear of missing out. So we won in many ways, but let's see how much we won financially. So first, I'm going to bring up the calculator and put in the peaks payment of $2,283 minus the current payment of $2,144. That means you save $139 a month if you waited from peak, but let's times that by 7 years. Just because that's the average, right? 7 years to say. So you save on just your mortgage, you guys, even with the higher interest rate, and this is why I keep telling people the rate does matter, but the price is way more important. Here's why. So even with the higher interest rate, you're saving in 7 years, roughly, this is just a rough estimate, over $11,000, $11,673, but you're also saving on average $40,000 off of the purchase price. So there you guys go. $51,673 is where we're at right now if we waited. In conclusion, here's where I think we're at going into 2023. I still think the builders and the sellers need to be broken a little bit. I think especially new construction builders right now, they're holding on to that last little bit of hope, hoping to themselves the market is just going to reverse, because you guys know we have a historical, unlike anything we have ever seen, building going on right now, under construction homes right now. And I have taken you guys to many of these neighborhoods, and I've showed you huge communities of homes under construction, and none of them are on MLS. So I hope you guys are starting to see that. Now, once that hope is gone, once the confirmed recession hits, once more unemployment hits, you guys, I think it's going to be an absolute bloodbath in new construction. Now, the only thing that I think stops that is if the Fed U-turns right now. If the Fed U-turns right now and drops rates by 300 basis points, maybe then we'll have a soft landing, and I'll say, oh, you guys, I'm so sorry, I'm wrong. But do you guys really think that's going to happen? Do you think they're going to lower interest rates tomorrow 300 basis points on the federal funds rate? I don't think so. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to do what they're supposed to do, and that is unfortunately cause a recession. That's what they need to do right now, right? It's not good. I don't want people to get hurt, you guys, but the unaffordability right now is out of control. So no matter who you're listening to, understand that one thing continues to remain despite anyone's opinion, and that is unaffordability. Until we get unaffordability under control, I don't see another choice but to have these trends continue the same direction as far as quantitative tightening and the raising of the federal funds rate. But other than that, guys, I really appreciate you following me. I really hope you guys got a good update today. You got some value, insights, and perspective. And if you're out there investing in real estate, I wish you luck, and I hope you win.